Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we finished the season with a win. Yabba dabba doo. Woohoo, it's amazing, it's great. I tell you what, the Glazers will be absolutely knocking one out tonight because actually we finished above Wolves. So we've actually moved up a space, which means we get 3 million quid, which is a huge thing, I suppose. But I tell you, I've got to be honest here. Do the player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Amrim's being applauded here at the moment. I've got to be honest. I want Amrim to do well, but I think that the big thing that I would say here, and I have to be completely and utterly truthful about this, I just do not. Something's changed. Something's changed with me and this team. After Wednesday, I've really gone against them. I need the summer. I need the break. I'll be back. I'll be back in July. Obviously, we're going to do the United Stand anyway, transfer news, etc. But this team irritate the shit out of me now. I don't like them. I can't look at them. I can't listen to this shit. 42 points for a Manchester United side is absolutely abysmal. That final was shit. Even today, we turn up for like the first half an hour and play the best we've played all season because there's no pressure. COVID FC again. You know, here we are, flowers and a box of chocolates. I'm sorry. I'm just so fed up of them and I don't trust them. You know, we're being lied to. Oh, look at what we can do. Look at what we can do. Like, I'm venting here. I'm so fed up of them. And I just hope that from tomorrow we're going to start buying players that are going to make a difference. Because I'm not fooled by today. I'm not fooled by today at all. I think that Aston Villa were poor. They were down to 10 men. And it took us forever to score a goal. And also, they did score a legitimate goal. They were robbed. I don't care what anyone says. That's just shocking officiating. We actually should have been 1-0 down against 10 men at home again, and we probably would have. We probably would have lost. I don't. Daniel says stop being so negative, mate. If you don't want to listen, you can go away. This is the Mark Goldbridge match reaction, talking about the season. You might be falling for Ruben Amrim's bullshit that he's putting out at the moment. I'm not falling for it because words cannot tell me what I've seen this season. He wants to keep Bruno Fernandes and play him in the holding midfield. I think that's completely wrong. He fucked up big time on Wednesday and we're meant to all applaud them off the pitch. Oh, well done, mate. Yeah, shit team on Wednesday, shit performance, but you've just beaten 10-man Villa and said we're going to be great next season. The club's broke. Get some fucking players in. Get some players in and excite me. I back this manager. I back this club to the hilt. But I'm telling you what, I'm not, you know, they're all smiling and hugging. Fucking 42 points and we lost the final. Come on. Are you really convinced? Are you really excited? I just think it's... I just feel irritated at the moment. And that's my vent. Right, I've had it now. I'm not going to go on and on about it. We have to move on. We need a strong summer transfer window. We need to back this manager. He needs a pre-season. I haven't listened to what he said after the game, but look, it's irrelevant. It mattered on Wednesday. It didn't matter now. People hugging and smiling and shaking hands and everything. I can't believe how far this football club has fallen. That's what hurts. I can't believe how far this club has fallen and people are willing to sit there and go, the storm has ended. We're back. We're starting with 42 points. Our lowest ever Premier League points total was 59. We're 17 points off it. Why are we back? Why is the storm ended? If the storm's not ended, you're probably still going to see Bruno centre midfield next season. You might still see Rasmus up front. You might still see Maguire and Casemiro starting every week. You might still see an Arna in goal. You don't know what's going on until this club backs this manager properly. And words aren't going to be that. It's going to be actions, isn't it? We need actions louder than words. So I'm irritated. They irritated me today. But I think that's normal behaviour. I'm somebody that, you know, wants us to do well. I want the manager to do well. I'm just irritated. And it sort of shocked me how much they irritated me today. On the performance itself, I think that it's just amazing. It's amazing how that's the best I've seen us play at home in months. In that first 40 minutes, you sort of wonder why we didn't see that in the final. And that's what worries me, to be honest with you, because I think, what did Amrim say to get that performance out of them? Did he say, relax, just go and play with a smile on your face? So no pressure, and they play well without any pressure. That's not a good thing, because there's pressure at Man United. So when the pressure comes back, are they going to be shit again? Did he say to them, I've told Garnacho and Onana they're going. I might say 2 or 3 of you are going in a minute. Go out there and perform, in which case they're playing for their wage. Light switch. You can't have that. You can't light switch. I'd almost understand it more if we'd been shit today and Villa had beaten us 4-0. The fact that we were better than Villa with 11 men, I don't understand it. That's a Villa team that's been better than us all season, and we're very close to getting Champions League football. You know, they were giving PSG a game a few weeks ago. They come to Old Trafford, and for 40 minutes we played them off the park. You explain that to me. I can't explain that. I don't know what that's all about. Is it because we're light switch and we can beat anybody on our day? Is it because they're playing for money? Is it because, we get an extra 3 million if we win? Do you get a bonus? Is it because there's no pressure? Look, we have to be fair here. This is the last game of the season. There has to be an element of assessment of the season. And we criticised Solskjaer's best season because it was behind closed doors and the team was brilliant. And again today, we see a team with no pressure, nothing to lose, play really, really well. And you think, well, this is the problem. We've accumulated a squad that can't deal with the pressure of wearing a Man United shirt. And the minute the pressure's off or there's no crowd, it's easy. And this is probably why the feedback from the training ground is always, they're amazing. They're brilliant. The amount of players who say to me, you should be seeing this player in training, you should see that player in training. Sorry, not players, coaches. I'm saying, look, the point is, the feedback you get is that in training, this player's amazing. In training, we're knocking it around. In training, we're doing this, that, and the other. But then you see the reality, and I think it's a pressure thing. I think that's what it comes down to, definitely. But look, also, I think. Obviously, I think what we learned today is that Bruno Fernandes will be staying at Manchester United. The club released pretty much a statement confirming it before the game. He had a penalty, which I think if he was leaving, he would have took. He let Eriksen take it. So all the signs are there that Bruno Fernandes will stay at the club. You've got to back the manager. You've got to back the manager. You don't have to back the manager, but the club have to back the manager. And if the manager doesn't want to sell Bruno Fernandes, you don't sell Bruno Fernandes. A manager, we can't sack another manager who leaves and goes, I wanted this, I wanted that, and they didn't do it. Prime example would be Martial, who wanted to sell, Mourinho, who wanted to sell Martial, and the Glazers said, no, you can't have that. So if he doesn't want Bruno to go, you can't sell Bruno. 100% you can't. What I fear is that for me, I would. I think the rebuild is so big that I would. And look, even watching that game today, I thought Bruno played well. I thought Casemiro played well. But I don't think it's a fair reflection of what it's like to play in a midfield pivot 38 games in a season. I'll stand corrected if I'm wrong about this next year, but I think that's going to be a problem. I think teams are going to run through our midfield because I don't think he actually suits that position. So if we're keeping Bruno, he needs to play as a 10. And I don't think that will happen. And if we're keeping Bruno, what happens to Mainu? Where does Mainu fit into this team? Where does Agate fit into this team? So there's a lot of questions to be answered, but that's more for the summer. Anything else? Look, there's a lot of change. Onana's clearly got to go. A new goalkeeper would make a massive amount of difference. We definitely need a striker. We've seen that again today. We know Cunha's going to come in. When will that get announced? I think that'll be another positive as well. So I think that for me, the excitement now is not the fact that the players are getting on a plane to Malaysia, and I pity all of them for doing that. I think it's a right, you just want to go off and have a rest. But it's what we do from now with the transfer window that I'm waiting to see. Most points of the 18th Premier League place in 10 years is 37, says Honey. If we knew we'd finished 15th and no Europa, I almost wish we'd get relegated if that could force the Glazers out, says Iraqi. Reports saying Onana is going, says Malaki, obviously. Alex, thank you very much for your super chat. If it's a pressure thing, go play in Sunday League. This is the real world, says Swami. Look, there's a mixture of comments in the chat, and that's absolutely fine. And if you are fooled by a microphone and clapping and smiling, then that's up to you. I am not assessing the season on that result. I'm assessing the season on what I saw on Wednesday, how many losses we've had, how many points we've got. You know, we played without caring today. We're obviously a good team when we play without pressure. But there's only been one game this season where there was no pressure, and that was today, and we played our best football. That's the takeaway. Instead of arguing with me or yourselves, tell me I'm wrong. The one game this season where we played without any pressure, because there was none, was today, and we played some of our best football. Every other game this season, we've been shocking. Even in Europe, we've been shocking. The one game where there's no pressure, we play really, really good football. Everybody pressed as a team. Everybody listened. Everybody passed. Everybody played really well. No pressure. First game of the season, there's going to be pressure. There's going to be pressure every game. That's a problem. Mark, we need 2 new goalkeepers because Nana and Beninda are as bad as each other, says Yusuf. Today's game was even more confirmation that we need players. These are bottom half players who only turn up when there's no pressure, says Dellen. I don't think I've ever been so happy to see the season end. Kind of annoyed we played like that on the last day, but all season we've been crap, says Liam. If Leicester can do it, so can we, says Joe. Toon, love you as well, says DJ. Mark, we half these players gone, says Yusuf. We didn't play well, by the way. Villa decided to sit back, says David. Mark, thanks for everything. Love the community. No matter how bad we are, I enjoy tuning in daily, says Alex. We have got an 8 o'clock show tonight, which is going to be more about what's next. There's a few stories we want to get into. So after the fan forum, we're back at 8. Mark, thanks for everything. Love the community, says Alex G. Thank you. What a bunch of clowns. When there is nothing to play for, they play like Real Madrid, says Narrative Breaker. Congratulations to the lads for saving Newcastle's season, says Marlowe. I mean, look, the funny thing is, hypothetically, we might have been better off losing that game and letting Villa get into the Champions League, and then they might have bought Rashford. So, you know, I think he wasn't going to go to Villa anyway, to be fair. I'm not listening to that speech, says Nigel. 42 points. I'll never forget that disgrace of a season. DJ H, thank you very much for your super chat there. Funny, fuming Mark, these players trotting around dominating Villa as if they've been doing it all season. Where has this been? It's a joke, says Glenn. Where was that performance in Bilbao, says Yusuf. Thank you from the bottom of my heart from a magpie, says the boy. Thank you for Champions League, says John Shaw. Hey, look, if there's any Newcastle fans here and you want to put super chats in and say thank you, we'll take it. Look, at the end of the day, if you finish in the top 5 at the end of the season, you deserve it. There is a little bit of unfairness on Villa. PGMOL yet again. But ultimately, more or less, you'll end up where you should be. So congratulations to Newcastle, Chelsea, City, Liverpool and Arsenal. They are the top 5. And Spurs, because of us. Ryan, thank you for being a member for 29 months. Just told us he's getting info from players, says Corey. No, I didn't. Will you record match reactions for the friendlies? Says SH. No, I think we'll do watch-alongs. I don't think I'll go as far as match reactions. Bloody hell. I feel the rainbow towards the end was the sign of a new dawn. Oh, my God. The footballing gods are shining on us now, are they? Fucking hell. If that's what the way back is, we truly are lost. There's a fucking rainbow. There's a lot of rainbows in Manchester because it rains a lot in the summer and then the sun comes out. It's not a sign. A rainbow's not really that rare in the UK, mate. You get quite a lot between May and August. Hundreds of them. We needed some positivity today. Without Bruno, we'd have been relegated. We're so spoiled to realise that. We need him more than he needs us. We've wasted his career, says Humphrey. I'd sell him. I'd sell him, 100%. I don't see how he fits into the system. I don't see that he's a super captain. I think he's the best we've got, but we could get better. I think now's the time to be brave. £100 million, you could bring 5-6 good players in on top of what you're going to get for other players. This could be a massive rebuild. This player, I think he's going to continue to divide fans for the next 5 years. He's divided fans for the last 3 years. I think he's going to divide fans for the next 3 years. Look, Ricky's never rated him. Some people have never rated him. I rate Bruno, but I'm not stupid. I think he's going to continue to divide people. And we're always going to know we could have took £100 million. So every bad game next season, people are going to be even worse because they're going to go, we should have fucking sold him, this, that, and the other. It's just a problem that you need to remove because I know this is going to happen. I believe he should stay if Amrin wants him to stay. And I will back that. I'm not going to throw my toys out the pram. But I think we should do the deal because the money is massive and we could buy a lot of players with that. But also, he's not going to play brilliantly every week because he's not that type of player. You know, he can be brilliant, he can be bad. And every time he's bad, it's just going to be even worse. But you know what it's like. You know what it's like. Fortisa says, Toon. Emi Martinez, United man of the match, says Dorian. Did you see the news that Sir Jim was spotted running towards the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow so we can buy Gyökeres, says Trina? Look, that's what I want to happen next. I want to see that type of a move. I think Cunha is a really positive signing, but I want to see Gyökeres, not Delap. The interesting thing about Delap now is, and we're going to talk more about transfers at 8 o'clock and stuff, because we've got to turn a page. And what I would say is, despite my moaning at the start, this is also therapy for me as much as it is for you. I'm always honest with my opinions. I'm always honest with my emotions, and it's better to get it out. And I've let it out now. I don't hold any grudge against Amorim or the players. I've let it out. They've really irritated me. I'm glad the season's over. And next season's a new season. And what can help me be more positive is buying better players. That's what it can be. Unai tried the same thing as Ange. Heaven versus Shaw, says Hunid. Thank you very much. Okay, let's do the... it was a good speech with positivity, says Kevin. Yeah, but you know what? The proof will be in the pudding. I'll listen to the speech and I'll talk about it at 8 o'clock, but the proof will be in the pudding. I mean, look, I can say... Look, imagine... I'm trying to think of something that's not too melodramatic, but... imagine it's the best speech in the world and everyone's like, that's the best speech in the world. So what? It's the worst Premier League season we've ever had, and the Europa League final was a fucking disgrace. So what does the speech do? It means everything if it goes on to be something. But how many speeches have we had? How many positive chats have we had? And it doesn't happen. I don't... As I said to you before the game, Amorim's not the one who should be apologising and doing a speech. It's not his money. It's not his club. He doesn't make the signings. So at the end of the day, he's almost irrelevant. If he doesn't get the players, he won't be successful. So I need to hear from the CEO. I need to hear from the owner. And the proof will be in the pudding with that, I suppose. Right, let's do the player ratings. Because the fan forum are waiting and we didn't get a fan forum on Wednesday. So I feel like I need to get ready on time. I think the player ratings are really difficult to do this time because the players irritate the shit out of me, and I don't think we played particularly well in the second half against 10 men. We played a lot better against 11 men than we did against 10, actually, which is strange because Villa were trying to win the game. So it wasn't like they were parking the bus. Probably a 5 from Binder. Didn't fill me with any confidence, if I'm being honest. I thought Lindelof did okay for a last game. Goodbye. Thank you to Lindelof. 8 years, way too long. I mean, he's he's a model professional who gives his best, who wasn't good enough. That's basically Lindelof's career. 8 years. 8 years. But I'll give him a 6 on his last game. I thought he did okay. Maguire... Yeah, it's steady, 6.5. Yeah, didn't do anything wrong, really. Heaven, I would say, I'd say 6.5 for Heaven. Yeah, I agree with that. He's still only, 17? I'm a bit worried about the injuries. Hopefully that's just like being young, growing pains, etc. But we don't want him to get injured because he's way better than Luke Shaw. I actually think if we'd had him on the final on Wednesday, we might not have conceded that goal. But yeah, probably a man of the match contender. Mazraoui going off injured. I'd forgotten about that. Give him a 6. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. I thought Casemiro was a steady 6.5. Yeah, I do. I think they were very good in the midfield, to be fair. Both of them I'd say 6.5. We spoke a lot about Bruno, of course. Dorgu, yeah, I thought a 6.5 as well. I thought he's going to be my man of the match. I thought he was very good in the Europa League final. And I thought he's getting better. And I think it's important to acknowledge that because a lot of people have been on Dorgu's back for quite a while. And whilst he's not world class, I definitely see the improvement. And it's almost as if oh, the longer he plays at the club, the better he'll get. And I think he is somebody that is going to benefit massively. Almost reminds me of Everett and Vidic, who we bought in January and they struggled. Then they had the summer, a pre-season, and they got better. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dorgu next season goes up a level. And that's quite exciting. Ahmad's a bit in and out. 6.5, I think, for me, Ahmad. Good header, though. But he was a bit in and out of the game. But we're a better team with him, of course. Won as the penalty, scored a goal. So realistically, you could give him man of the match, actually, statistically. Mason Mount started well and then did what Mason Mount does. You really notice him on the pitch. And then there's half an hour where you don't notice him on the pitch. So I thought second half, I didn't really notice him in the last 10 minutes of the first half. But the first half an hour, I thought he did quite well. Probably give him a 6. Rasmus just needs a summer and to figure out what he's doing with his season. He just needs to figure out what's going on. I'd say a 5 for me. It was below average again. I thought a bit like Mason Mount. He started off well, but I thought second half it just was... it was weighing down on him. He desperately just needs a summer, get away, figure out... I think in relation to Rasmus, all I would say is knock on the door, Ruben Amorim, do you want me to stay or do you want me to go? And if Amorim says, I want you to stay, I think I can get something out of you, I want you to work with my star striker and you're going to be a player for the future, then you stay. And if he says, I want you to go to Italy. I think it's just simply that simple, isn't it? Johnny Evans, nice to see him back. I'll give him a 6. And what a servant he's been to the club. It was nice to see him back because I can't remember the last time we saw him on the pitch. Delow, Grandpa Simpson, in and out. You hardly even knew he was on there, but he nearly scored, so I'll give him a 6. Ericsson, look, I've always liked Ericsson. He's finished at this level, and it's been exposed as being finished at this level for all season. But nice for him to get a goal and nice to give him a send-off. And he's been a very good player in the Premier League era, so nice to see him get on. I thought Man Utd did quite well when he came on. I'd probably say sort of a 6.5 for me. I thought he did well. I just don't know where he fits in. We'll talk about this at 8 o'clock. If we're keeping Bruno, where does he fit into our team? He's just going to be a bench player. I think he's got bench player written all over him, and that can't be right, can it? It can't be right. Is he going to go? If we sell Mainu and Garnacho and keep Bruno, I'm going to break this fucking table, by the way. I mean, that's just not the way to go, surely. But then again, maybe you get experienced players in like Mbeumo and Cunha. Maybe I'm wrong. Obi, nice to see him on the pitch again. I'll give him a 6. Amorim. What's your problem with Agate, by the way? He's not played a minute in 2 games. Saving him for the tour? That was a bit weird. He is a bit weird. Like Casemiro, he wouldn't touch him for 2 months. And then suddenly he won't drop him and now he won't touch Agate. He almost like has these players where if they don't play well, he just shuns them. And look, let's see if it's effective. Look, we've won a game 2-0. We've played some of the best football in the first half. I've got to give him a 6.5. The first half was really good. And it just shows you what his system can be. I don't blame Amorim for... I blame Amorim for Wednesday, but I don't blame him for today because obviously those players can play that system when they want to and they're not under any pressure. And it's nice to see how the press was really good and Villa couldn't get out. It's nice to see the ball being moved quickly. It's nice to see chances in the box. But it's amazing how we've not been able to do that for 5 months. And then the one game where there's no pressure, they do it. It's disgusting, really. But I think that's not on Amorim, is it? That clearly is player mentality, very, very simply. So, that's where we are with that. Okay. So, let's have a look at who your man of the match is. Ahmad! I get that. I do get that. I've probably slept on that one a little bit. I did say that a goal and an assist for the penalty probably does get that. Seb was right, Mark. The foul was outside the box. Looked in it to me, Pirate, unless you're joking. We've got a new Scooby-Doo in action most of the game. Thursday was ghosting and non-existent, says B. We need a whole rebuild. The team isn't good enough, says Harry Callahan. Thank you very much for that. Hassan says Player FC, Goldbridge. Who am I Player FC for? Who am I Player FC for? I think the lowest score went to Binder and Rasmus. So who am I player FC for? Dylan, thanks for the super chat. Give Ahmad the 7 kit. That would be lovely, says LA. Don't forget, hey, Mason Mount's never having that taken off him. It's in his contract. Don't forget the left back that's coming from South America. Yeah, but he's a kid, Ruben. He might not be ready. We need a football manager, not Shakespeare, says Kian. I think he's talking about the speech. They're not serious about rebuild. Bruno should go, says Keel. I'm pleased it's the end of the season and it's always nice to win, but all the anger should be on the owners. Great thing, all my washing dry, says Tracy. Keep it up, Mark. Love the community, says Chris. Garnacho showed up with his kid. Anana nowhere, says Sati. Brighton 7 places above us, but let in more goals, says Tender. I support this manager, but the owners have to get players for his system, says Michael. I want us to get Cherky after we announce Cunha, says Yusuf. It was a very good speech with positivity, says Kevin. They booed my player Trent. Disgusting, says LeBron. They did it again. Nick P says, dumbest speech ever, hollow words and fans clapping like seals. If he delivered so many sorries to girlfriends, she would have laughed in my face, says Nick P. There we go. Thank you very much. Okay, there is a fan forum. It's on the homepage. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And I'm back at 8 o'clock for you. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Take care.